So this is part two. I'm gonna call this the hidden veil, right? So this is an extension to the rich get richer. So this is gonna be more like conspiracy Illuminati talk, right? So me being into technology, right? Because you don't really see, like, if you look at like the Illuminati conspiracy channels, they don't really discuss like entrepreneurs. They just talk about like rappers and shit, like shit that catches people attention that's easy to talk about. Well, and that's not even easy to talk about. But I'm gonna talk about like my side of shit, like me being a web developer, Web3 guy, Shopify, man, Google, digital marketing, all that shit, buzzwords, right? So let's talk about the hidden veil, right? I'm gonna say I don't think that Bill Gates, right? Steve Jobs, who else? Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, like even like all the Twitters and all, like I don't think that shit is real. I don't think they really start that shit. I just don't. I do not think they really start that shit. I think that shit. I think that shit is like government shit that they use to find people and just monitor people, and they need a front man for the technology to sell it as is him. It's not who somebody else. That's what I believe. Like if you see a Tesla presentation, like you think Elon Musk, who wears a fucking blazer and some penny loafers or whatever the fuck he wears, you think this motherfucker made a electric engine with a big fucking company, goes and presents and all this shit. You think he really started that shit? You think Mark Zuckerberg, right, Jew name, started some shit in his house, right, that the CIA and the FBI uses? You think that shit is real? Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that shit. I think the same way a fucking R. Kelly goes to jail, right? After making a lot of money and then he's like criticized at the end of his career. It's the same way a Zuckerberg goes to jail for some shit that, this data breach or some shit. So they can increase data mining on your ass so they can get your data because Zuckerberg is doing this, so let's increase, but it's just the government like, let's find a way that we can get in and do this. It's kind of like a Bin Laden and a 9/11, right? It's Bin Laden or some shit. So let's fucking put cameras all in their houses and shit. And the government will be behind it all. So it's like, I'm not saying they are. Wink, wink. I'm just saying it's the same scenario. It's an excuse to increase privacy, to get money and control the people. Like, so if you have a front man for Facebook or Meta where you can get more people's data and make money on the data, then you win. But you need a front man. You can't just be like, it's the FBI and the CIA, Meta. You can't be like, no, this is the government, FBI, CIA. We run Meta. Like, it's like Meta. It has to be by Mark Zuckerberg. You have to put somebody on the front of it. You can't just be like, it's Meta by the FBI and the CIA, when that's who really runs it. But you need a man in front of it who can go on stage and present and have all these people, it's Facebook, we're doing this, blah, 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 right? It's the same concept. Like, if you go work at, a company, and they're like, I work here. And then it's like, we're going to pay you this amount of money to be the presentation guy or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I just see them as presentations. It's like me, like talking on this so you can, you know what I'm saying, make money on Shopify. You know what I'm saying? It's just a presentation. I don't think they really do that shit. I don't think they do that shit. Like, is Mark Zuckerberg, is he even a developer? Like, does he know how to code? You know what I'm saying? I just think it's bullshit. I think this is what I believe. I believe that all the technology, like Meta, Facebook, Microsoft computers, Apple computers, the cell phone, the iPhone, the Android, the Galaxies, all this shit, the Tesla, I think all of that shit was already somewhere made already. They just release that shit when it's time to release it. And they need a front man behind that shit. That's it. That's what I believe. Like, so the Tesla, they like, oh, we're rolling out the Tesla. Yeah, because this shit's already been made. You're just rolling it out. You just need a rollout. So you need a guy who can be on a stage in a fucking t-shirt and present it to the public. And the public's like, yay, yay, yay. And this shit been in some fucking vault somewhere for years. And they just rolling that shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe. Like, I'm not a betting man, but if I was a betting man and you ask me, oh, you think Elon Musk really like made, he has no oil on his hands or none of that shit. You think he made an electric engine and all this shit? Like, nah. I think there's people who make that shit and they keep him quiet or something. It's like Metal Gear Solid, right? You know what I'm saying? All that shit, Metal Gear Solid. Like, it's already there. You know what I'm saying? You got a front man to some shit and you bring it out. Okay, this is the new Tesla. And then you put a big ass presentation and you're like, oh my God, it's the new Tesla. And you just put that shit in the mall and people want it. But you put Elon Musk on the front of it. It's like the Lakers. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, this is LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He can dunk and he's fast. He can barely shoot, but we're going to bet on him because as long as he's big and he's fast, he don't really have to know how to do a fadeaway or nothing. He can just be efficient and have a nice haircut. And we just pay him $100 million and then boom, we just sell. But the Lakers still the Lakers, whether you want it or not. It's the same way with Tesla. You know what I'm saying? You got Tesla, then you got Elon Musk as the front man. Then you just find a new one. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, when Steve Jobs died, didn't they put another guy in, like, to replace him? You see what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's like, remember when Dave Chappelle was talking about, like, when he came in and, like, the shit, and he was like, oh, I don't want to wear a dress. And then they changed the script. She's like, how the fuck you change the script, right? Like, it's the same concept. Like, you already got the Tesla in play. You already got the Apple. You got the Facebook and shit where you can take the data. You're like, oh, we got to do data because the crypto is coming out, so we got to make sure the data is good. Then we got to do NFTs because this and this. And they roll it out at the same time. So, because it goes with the agenda of what needs to be done. And you need people to be in the forefront of that. That's it. Because a person is just a person. And technology can be engineered. It's like, you think this shit is new? This shit ain't new. This shit is not new. I don't think this technology, I don't think this shit's new. Like, this shit's been in play. Like, even crypto is not even new. Crypto been out. Crypto is what? Encrypted? So it's encrypted. Encryption is not new. It's just how they roll that shit out. It's just how they roll it out, however they present it to you. But it's not a new concept. So cryptocurrency is not even new. But the beauty of crypto is, like, you can make that shit on your own. But even if you make it on your own, it's still backed by a Windows or whatever phone you use or whatever. Like, so it's really not encrypted. Really. It's really not encrypted because it still has to be backed by, honestly, either an ATM, really, because how the fuck else you gonna spend it? Right? I can't go like, yeah, I can buy a house with Ethereum technically, but most of the bridges, what they call a bridge. So a bridge, most of the crypto bridges are so stupid that it'll cost you, it's not even worth the cost of what you're doing. Like to turn Ethereum to Bitcoin or like, that's the bridge, right? So the bridge is like how you turn one to another, but it's on different exchanges or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, it's an exchange or an exchange to an exchange. But none of them match up together. So now they can sell, that's why so many cryptos, because they're selling you a problem again and again and again, and they can pump up their problem, but it doesn't really solve it. It's like they're selling you what might be solved, right? So it's like a penny stock. That's why if you look at a crypto, like a penny or a stock is not good, because they can sell you a problem that can't be fixed and pump it up. Like, I forgot what, it was a crypto, I forgot what it was called, but it was like, we're talking about like the bridge. Like it would say, we could connect Ethereum with Bitcoin and Ethereum with Litecoin and Litecoin with, XRP, and because they don't really go together. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no bridge between them. You know what I'm saying? So they're selling the technology behind what can be developed behind this Bitcoin or this Litecoin. What's behind the Litecoin? You got Polygon behind Ethereum. Then you got different branches of Ethereum, but they can't bridge together. So let's do the bridge coin so we can bridge them all together, and this shit's not doable. But they pump it up, they make the money, and then they leave. Right? Somebody could buy that. They could buy into that but somebody who knows like that shit's not doable, then they're gonna be like, I'm not gonna invest in it. Yeah, I'm gonna invest in somebody who's stupid enough to believe it's doable because it might go up, but then I'm gonna get out because I know it's not doable. That's how the person who created it is thinking. Even if it's how he sell it. So he's like, it's the bridge coin, and we're going to bridge this together with Ethereum and Bitcoin, and he knows that shit's not doable. So he's pumping it for himself. And all his partners know, I'm just going to shut the fuck up because he sells it better than me. And we big on it, and boom, boom. So it goes up, then they get the fuck out, and they make the money. And then they gone. Like, look at Celsius. They took all those loans and all that shit, and then they got the fuck out. It was like, we know this shit wasn't doable. This shit doesn't even go with the banks. It doesn't go together. Yeah, we can sell you the interest, and the Bitcoin is shot down, and this. So now the whole market is going with the loan market. They got the loans, so they can get the fuck out. But the people who has the loan, or they gotta pay the loan, then they shit out of luck, or they need their loan back, or they need their interest. They shit out of luck because they didn't, they don't own it. So they bet it on the crypto. They bet on it. It's like, shit. Yeah, that's why I never got Celsius. When I signed up for Celsius, I was like, this shit it's not even like functional. So I was like, no, this shit not gonna work. So 2 months later, boom, that shit just falls apart. So I seen like Celsius takes people money. It's frozen. I'm like, damn. I'm like, whoa, like that's crazy. That's the hidden veil, man. The hidden veil. And that shit is everywhere. That shit could happen with Dogecoin, too. That shit could happen with Dogecoin. It could be the same thing.